I see some couple of more people joining in. Nandita, there's one more person, KP, SAP, not sure who is there. Then Lakshmi has joined. Hi Nandita, thanks for joining. So sir, in the meantime, maybe you can talk about little bit about introduction of each other. We can then we will get into live streaming very soon. So maybe what you are doing with Haldi Vita and how you are working towards the Badrinath sector. Maybe that you can at least share it a little bit.
Sure, I'll do that. Good evening, everybody.
Good
Nice
evening.
to
Hi, good evening.
Hi. Uh, my name is Samir Gupta, and basically I work in the cross-border entrepreneurship. That is like, the companies in India which would like to go and establish overseas. We take them there and we help them out in every which way. We work with the governments of various countries. Now this Haldi Vita thing started as a passion. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, and finance is my domain. But when I came back to India after staying overseas for a couple of years, that was nearly about 15, 16 years, my passion for agriculture was there. I wanted to do something in that. And my initial thought was, why don't we help farmers to grow some good spices and organic and market them? But it's a very glutted market. There were a lot of people. We started off with haldi. And as we progressed, we found that this haldi is like, because of the ancient wisdom and superfood, there were a lot of elements which were getting missed out. In fact, we were talking to one of the Ayurvedic doctors when we realized that most of the haldi, we have got doctors in our, this academy. So, they'll know most of the haldi is not biosoluble in the body, the curcumin part of it, and it gets flushed out. So there have to be certain herbs and spices which have to be mixed in a certain proportion along with haldi to make it bioabsorbable. Now there is this very special type of haldi which is grown in Himalaya.
Sorry, sir.
Suvarna.
We will have to just give me a pause. I think we are live now. So I just welcome all our live participants and in the Bringle Blended Meetups version 3 on healthy vegan living. I will just put everybody on mute. Kindly request everybody to go on mute. Okay, so Welcome to the third Bringle Blended Meetup on healthy living, and I really thanks all the speakers to take out take out time from their busy schedule for this meetup and contributing towards a better, healthy, and vegan community. And each of you has a very good experience in terms of veganism, how you are promoting, how you are talking about health thing, and we will be taking it up one by one. So I would request Dr. Rupa to introduce herself, give a little introduction, followed by Mayavi, Pratiksha, and Tripti, and then of course Samir can continue his discussion. Then we'll go with the same. Order. We will be going for the speaking session on your topics. So, Dr. Rupa, over to you, and we will be looking forward for your talks.
So, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here today, present. Hi, Nandita. Hi, Pratiksha. Mayavi. Hi, Tripti. So, myself, Dr. Rupa Shah, basically an allopathic doctor. But 35 years ago, when I passed my MBBS, I was very sure that I don't want to practice allopathic medicine because I understood that it only treats symptoms and never looks at the cause or the root of the disease. And I started my journey, exploring all kinds of alternative medicines. I traveled around the world and looked at various such therapies. And finally, I settled down on making remedies from Indian flowers, which I found to be the safest method of healing patients. And about 12 years ago, I came across some information about diet in a workshop that I attended, and I was told that maybe the milk is not good for health. And I thought in my mind that, well, I eat organic, I'm vegetarian, I take lots of natural remedies, I never take antibiotics or allopathic. I What's wrong with milk? Let me try it out for 30 days. So I decided to go off dairy products. But we are a Gujarati household, a joint family, and we use a lot of curd and buttermilk, and we add it in our theplas and mutias and everything. So initially, if I tell them that I want to go on this kind of a diet, they will be very overwhelmed. So I said, okay, I'll just go off dairy products in all the food where it is very obvious, like directly curd and buttermilk and maybe just taking ice cream or all those things. So I decided not to take dairy products, but I still ate some of the things that had little bit of curd or something. But I was so overwhelmed and surprised that in just about 2 weeks, I saw that I did not have any migraine headaches or acidity, which I used to suffer for almost 18 years before. And they were very regular, they were very horrible. I used to be very exhausted, vomiting, acidity. I thought, God has sent the hell right over here. But 2 weeks, no headaches. My body felt light. There was no indigestion, acidity. I was very overwhelmed. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm a doctor for 25 years and I don't know what's wrong with dairy. Then 4 weeks passed and I had not a single attack of migraine. Then I was really overwhelmed with the information. I went on the net and started studying, looking what's wrong with milk. And then after that I decided to go 100%, and then I stopped taking dairy in every form. And there are some very interesting websites that talk about milk and all the side effects that milk has, like a lot of diseases are associated with dairy products. There's a website called notmilk.com, and there's a book by Dr. N.K. Sharma. It's called as Milk, a silent killer. And I had the book for a long time, but I never read it. Finally, I read the book and I got the idea. Then during that time, Dr. Neil Barnard came from US, and he had written a book called, How to Reverse Diabetes, Reversing Diabetes program by Dr. Neil Barnard. And we spent some time together, and we arranged a lot of his talks in Mumbai city and also a workshop with him. I also read the book by him, watched a lot of YouTube videos like about 11 years ago, there were very less videos on internet. But whatever was there, I just listened. All these doctors were talking about the plant-based diet and what is it. I was very surprised. There was very know about the dairy product as actually an animal product which is harmful for our health. Then we started helping people reversing their type 2 diabetes. What we did, whatever was there in Dr. Neil Barnard's book was Western recipes, and we converted them into our Indian ethnic information, because a Punjabi household or a South Indian or a Gujarati or a Bengali household, they will all be eating food differently, ethnic foods. So we have to just kind of change it to plant-based diet, which is what we did, and we still had no idea. We didn't have a single case of diabetes that had reversed. But the first workshop that we did, and I remember that we did a follow-up meeting after a month, and there were 3 cases of diabetes that were completely reversed just in a month. And in the meeting, everyone else was very overwhelmed when they said that they had stopped their medication because the blood sugar started coming down. And some of them had diabetes for like more than 10 years. And they were very overwhelmed that no doctor told them about this kind of simple diet, change in the diet to reverse their diabetes. So then our journey began. I remember who was the first patient was Mr. Joshi, VR Joshi. He is living in Pune, and till today he is free of diabetes. And he was reversing heart disease, hypertension, autoimmune disorders. Mine was a simple case of acidity and migraine, also the arthritis, and also PCOD, hypothyroid. All these diseases had exactly the same common cause, that was use of excessive animal products and also processed food in our diet. And these were the 2 new introductions. When we were young, we just had a one small cube of Amul, and that probably once in 2 or 3 months we got and we ate something. We didn't even like the taste of it. But now we are at a time where there are maybe 50 types of cheese. There are so many kinds of milk and milk products. There's refrigeration. We are this has become a very organized industry. So the milk production has become a business, a profit-making business. The hormones are injected to the animals. Animal is given a lot of antibiotics. The food that is given is also not necessarily their natural food. They can be given anything that's going to increase the milk production. And this was another problem that often it was homogenized, even pasteurized. And the milk that came from, say, not a Deshi cow, but a Jersey cow or a buffalo, the dairy industry, also in the other meat industry. Because the milk, the meat has to be refrigerated, has to, remain there for a long time. Everything was processed. Food, it's bound to increase our shelf life. This is how type 2 diabetes. Once in a while, I also help type 1 diabetes reduce their insulin production. Insulin resistance.
Look like there are some internet issues at Dr. Rupa's side. Just wait for a minute. Otherwise, we'll move to the second speaker.
Yeah, I lost the link. I'm sorry. Am I still audible?
Yes, now you're audible and visible, so you can go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. So finally, I started. We are all dairy lovers, and we love our dahi and cheese and butter and uh, ice creams and also. I said, oh, how do I get going with it? Because this is going to be a lifelong change for all my patients. So I started experimenting in my kitchen, particularly almond milk, soy milk. All this was easy to make. Cashew milk, even rice milk, oat milk, all those 1 dozen kinds of dairy-free milk. They were easy, but to figure out the curd recipe was the hard part, because curd just didn't taste like the curd that we're used to having. So then I started experimenting with the peanut curd. Initially, the peanut curd was tasting too much of peanut. Then we added rice in it. It was a neutral taste, and then peanut and rice combination milk changed it into curd, and then it was tasting perfect. And then we could make buttermilk. We could make our Gujarati kadhi, and then we can use it for fermentation and everything. So I started then. I understood that all these recipes are now oil free, sugar free. They are whole food, plant based. There's no process in it, and of course they are dairy free. But how do I now tell the world about it? Because it was the hard part. People were not getting it. The how to make dahi and all. So we started with healthy cooking workshops along the way. I made lots of videos, of oil free cooking, how to make tadka oil free, and how to make kanda bhajia. This is the season, monsoon season. People want to have kanda bhajia. We just bake them instead of frying it. So all those recipes were already on internet, but still, people were not getting it. So we started with healthy cooking workshops, and we did a lot of those for 2 years, including whole wheat bread. When we finished, there were many who got trained, and then now they have continued. And when we started, there were like initially potluck meetings, then after their healthy cooking workshops, and now I think there are about 100 cooking workshops just in Mumbai city alone, which is a very, very great news. This is where we have reached. My colleague Dr. Pramod Tripathi has now a huge database of about more than 100,000 patients, and out of that, about 6,000 patients are totally free of diabetes. 1,000 of them are free from insulin, and also many of them have incredible stories of weight loss. So this is the diet now finally that is the diet for health. It's not only for reversing the diseases, that's the phase one, but it is also for the prevention of diseases. So if you want to prevent diseases, so you may not be suffering right now from any other disease, you should take on this diet as a lifestyle. So it's not a diet that you do for 21 days or 2 months and 3 months. It's the lifestyle. It's something that you do it forever. But the great part of it that the kind of variety of foods that are available in the market and the experiments that we do, and now so many vegan chefs have come, so many vegan businesses, food businesses, that there's so much, everything is available. Like earlier, like there was almond milk. Now my patients call me up and they ask me which brand of almond milk should I buy. So there's so many brands already available of just almond milk. Or even suddenly they'll call me up and say, "Oh, which cheese is the best? Vegan cheese, okay?" And there are so many vegan cheese brands available in the market. So this is really fantastic. It's all happening. It's growing at a pace faster, and health is one aspect of it. I also am interested in the environmental aspects, and then I'm interested in the animal or compassion aspect of it. And finally, of course, there's also spiritual aspect of turning towards vegan lifestyle, because I believe in not harming anyone. That's our ahimsa. Do not harm anyone. You just want to live a lifestyle which is completely harmless, peaceful, full of love, and allowing everyone to live, together on this planet in harmony. So this is what I believe in, and I've been doing it. I also wrote a couple of books on this. So there's this dairy alternative that I wrote, and the same book also in Hindi. I also have the same book in Gujarati, and over the years I've sold maybe thousands of copies of these. I also give it away actually as a PDF file. Anyone who sends me an email, because I really haven't made this for making any money or something. I want people to learn and get on to this lifestyle. There's also one way of lifestyle that you can do.
Uh, I think Dr. Rupa is again having a little internet issue. But I think we should bring these books onto the, to spread it out to more vegan community and spread the word. And Tripti is there from US, just for everybody's perspective, and she is I would say a very big fan of cooking, and she's been putting a lot of recipes of her own, making her own at her place. So I think these kind of information and things can be really useful to spread this veganism in US. And I was just talking to her on the veganism part. So it is not just, it is, there are a lot of allergies also related to that, which are kind of being treated by vegan diet, and probably she'll talk about it when her time comes for the speaking slot. I think with this, because Dr. Rupa is, is unable to join back at this time, so let's move to the second speaker. Mayavaji, I will request you if you can speak on how you have used the vegan diet to treat your diabetes and other issues which you have been facing, the health issues which you had been facing.
Thank you so much, Ansha, for having me here today. All of you. Lovely weather, lovely rain, Bombay green again. So I will just share my story in short. Um, 6 years back, I was uh, I was told by the doctor that I would have to be hospitalized because my fasting sugars were somewhere around 300 to 350, and my post lunch or any random sugar was anywhere between 450 to 600. Besides that, my blood pressure used to be 210 by 110, and the doctor was really alarmed because whatever he told me to do was not working, and he said I would have to now go on insulin because these tablets were not good enough and were not working for me. And in spite of the highest dose of medication, both for diabetes and for hypertension, my numbers were just not coming down. And I'm so terrified of the hospital that I decided instead to go to Dr. Pramod Tripathi. Dr. Rupasha just spoke about Dr. Pramod, and he is the founder of an organization called Freedom from Diabetes in Pune. Of course, now they also have a center in Mumbai if people want to go there. And I started on the 6th of August 2013, and by the 3rd of September 2013, my diabetes medication was stopped. So it was less than a month to stop my diabetes medication. And slowly, over a period of another 2-3 months, blood pressure had gone. And it took me my hypothyroidism. But once I went on to a organic whole food plant-based lifestyle. So I also was on a organic whole food lifestyle. Pavan explained plant-based lifestyle. That actually just changed everything. My voice, in fact, because of the hypothyroidism, was so gruff. I sounded like a man. It just slowly, as my levels of hormones came to a normal level, things just started changing. I was 92 plus kilos. Honestly, I stopped weighing myself the moment I saw 92. I said, now I don't want to see the 3-digit number. So, like an ostrich, as if I didn't see the world couldn't see me, kind of thing. I stopped looking at the weighing scale. I stopped weighing myself for that matter. And of course, that got me into a bigger trouble. But the moment I started this whole food plant-based lifestyle, and I must say this was the third time that I was going vegan. The first time was 28 years back when my younger daughter was born, and she had a lot of colic. And I had just read during her pregnancy, I read a book called Fit for Life by Marlin and Harvey Diamond. and that spoke about a vegan lifestyle. But somehow, after my baby was fine and she grew up, and I stopped the vegan lifestyle. And when I did it this time in 2013, there was an incident that happened where I consumed dairy after about a month or so of being on a completely whole food plant based lifestyle. And I just couldn't stop crying. And I was on a holiday in Mahabaleshwar, and I had eaten at the Mapro Gardens, and everything over there had cheese. The pizza, of course, had cheese. The sandwiches had cheese, and also the soup had cheese. And I just had one piece, like feeling guilty that I shouldn't have it, but I had it. And at night, I just couldn't stop crying. And at 10:30 or so, I decided to call Dr. Pramod. And Dr. Pramod, the first thing he asked me was, "Did you consume dairy?" And I was wondering, why is he even asking about this? But apparently, the emotions that I was going through were of the cow being separated from the calf. And that was what was my turning point in becoming completely vegan. So that was the time when I decided I'm never ever going to touch any animal product anymore. And after that, I was very committed. Within a few weeks itself, I started feeling so much more energy, where earlier I could barely get up at 8:30 in the morning. I started waking up early, started going for a walk. I couldn't even walk 100 meters then. And after about 4 months, I started running the Mumbai Marathon, and I run the 21 every year now. So that is the kind of power our food has. That is what actually can change our lives. For me, it has not only changed my life, it has changed my profession also. Because otherwise, I'm a trained psychoanalytical psychotherapist. I specialized in working with children, young adults, and parents. And here I am now. I'm teaching how to cook whole food, plant based food. But now it has even become narrower. What I do is I have a master class in which I teach everything to do with whole food plant based cooking, so that people can start their own businesses, or they can start teaching this kind of lifestyle. They can start teaching how to cook like this. And I feel very proud when one of my students is teaching this kind of cooking. Another one is started a tiffin service. Two of them are planning to start off their own restaurant. People from all over the country, people from all over the world. And I just want to spread this. So why am I trying to teach what I am already teaching? Or why do I want other people to teach what I'm teaching? I'm looking at 108 solid people who will start either their own business or start teaching, so that even if each one teaches or trains 108 more people, my job on earth is done. So I'm looking at geometric progression. And I have to say this, that Rupa Ben has been a pioneer. She has kind of come out with some fantastic recipes. I believe, and I know actually, that the peanut curd recipe with rice is her recipe. And this is what all vegans all across the country are using now. Thank you, Rupa Ben, for that one. And not only that, I think, we have so many who were so supportive. So, when Tripathi, and that's not I've also, but I'm up and more people who learn how to cook, that they can teach to other people. The way uh, in my body also changed the way I feel mentally, every different. So for me, like now, people's way to reverse diseases and generally get organic products, and people who don't have the time to come and learn or make it on their own or are not inclined to doing that can just buy things from our company.
Thank you so much, Mayavi, for such a kind of experience of yours. And I'm really wondering how that connect of that calf being separated from the cow and
Yeah.
how it has impacted you emotionally. I mean, people can say that it may sound it like a superstitious thought,
Yes.
but I mean, if you have experienced it, I'm sure there is a definite connect over there, and these experiences has to go farther regions and cross border, and the way Samir is also developing cross border entrepreneurship and working with governments. I think this is the message which has to go everywhere. We must have the universities or institutions which are promoting this healthy vegan concept, and we need, and thanks to Dr. Rupa for being there. I think she just left, but for creating such a kind of recipes which can change people mindset,
Yeah.
because curd is definitely one aspect which I was also facing a lot of challenges in terms of leaving it. So I mean, of course, definitely I'll try on that and figure it out. So I think thanks with this. Anything else, Maya, you would like to share with us, with the audience here?
So, should I just in short tell you what actually happened in that conversation with Dr. Pramod? While he was telling me about, when he asked me this question, did you consume dairy? The picture, the vision in my mind was when I gave birth to my first child. I wanted to see her. I opened her up, and some strange person comes and holds her by the hair and just is taking her away from me. And she is howling, and he's not bothered. She's hitting on one side of the door, on the other side of the door. And here I couldn't do a thing because I was tied down. I was not allowed to do anything. All I could do is just scream. And I think it was this vision that I had while he was talking to me that just made me realize that this is probably what he means. That, when I'm being separated from my mother, or my child is being separated from me, it must be feeling the same to the cow and the calf. So it is not a superstitious thing. It is something that actually happens, and I'm not the only one, Anshaf. I know other people who have given up dairy or given up any animal products because they've had a similar experience.
I'm really actually surprised and very happy also to see, get to know about this. I remember Dr. Tushar telling us sometime back how dairy industry is the reason for India being the largest exporter for beef.
Absolutely.
And that these are the kind of things which we are kind of trying to promote. In fact, recently I was talking to some of my Jain community members that why are we not turning into vegan? Why are we even still consuming dairy over there? Because for us, in being a Jain, paneer, ghee, cheese, butter, and these are the immediate aspects. While we have been talking about all the ahimsa, parmo dharam, and those kind of things, But I think if dairy is creating such kind of ahimsa, and we have examples in Jains, wherein the Bhagwan like Bahubali Bhagwan, and who has kind of took his gone to moksha standing, because while doing tapasya he has got that leaves and everything making up their way up, and there were ants who have made homes in his legs and stuff. And here we are not thinking on the dairy stuff. So I think, uh, in my opinion, if we can bring out the taste, cost and availability combination, we can really take it up very far. And if we have doctors like Dr. Rupa, Dr. Tushar, who are promoting this, and now I got to know about Dr. Pramod, I think these are the people who has to come up and spread this message. And I would really want to leverage a Bringle platform for the same, to reach out to the masses. Uh, and I think I would really work with Samir on this, in terms of how we can spread it out cross border, and take this veganism to a much larger ecosystem, rather than limiting it to within our nearby ecosystem. So I think with this, Dr. Rupa is back. Dr. Rupa, I think your talk was kind of held because of the internet. If you have right internet, if you can just complete that, then we'll move to the next speaker.
So whenever I tell people, particularly, dairy consumption is very high in Indian subcontinent. You don't hear that so much in, but it's a very unique Indian phenomenon. Love for dairy is very high. So whenever I give talks and I tell people that you should give up dairy, they are ready to give up. And after some time, they ask me the question, but what about my calcium? So that's why I wrote the book, this What About My Calcium. And this is a very simple thing, that you get the calcium from the same source as cow, buffalo, elephant, and horse. And if you watch that these animals are very strong, and they are just plant-based diet they have. They don't eat any meat to have ox-like energy or something. So this is the purpose. We want to tell people that go back to simple plant-based diet. In Gujarati, we call it as Vanaspati Janya Ahar. So I also specialize in talking about the same thing, plant-based or vegan, in regional languages. And I've coined the word called Vanaspati Janya Ahar. So anything that comes from plant is our food, and anything that comes from animal is our food. And anything that comes from Pashujanya or Pranijanya, that is not our food. There are more questions like about protein and other things, but very soon next month a film is getting released. It's called as Game Changers, and it is about vegan athletes across the globe. And I mean, it's completely overwhelming that they are breaking records, they are getting the medals, and they are winning the tournaments, and they're just on plant based. Or our own mountaineer, vegan mountaineer Kuntal, who has now summited Mount Everest 2 times from the north and south, and is telling people that you just don't need any special non-veg, to eat, to get protein and then be on this, Mount Everest or something like that. So finally, now we are ready to tell the world that this is the diet that is good for health. Why? Because we have now international journals accepting the data of our patient, and agreeing that this is the way. Now there is a famous MBBS doctor, and I did a talk, and my colleagues, were like literally in shock when I said that these diseases are reversible, because they just couldn't believe it. They're completely trained, to prescribe medication. They are just told that these things never get reversed, and diet was sounding too simple to them. So I understand that the pharmaceutical industry is very powerful. At the same time, there is all the knowledge that is taught in the medical school has no role of nutrition, in health. It's pretty hard at the moment. The farmers don't talk to pharmacists. Don't talk to doctors. We are not practicing anything like holistic medicine where you have one doctor for your eye, one for your liver, one for your kidney, and one for your heart. And these doctors don't talk to each other. They all prescribe medication. It's getting harder and harder. And I have a very every day typical consultation is a patient coming with page full of prescription, which is totally like unnecessary. So this is my journey. I would like to inspire more and more people to start and over the years staying very healthy. That's what I exist by remaining very healthy. And people of my age, even my colleagues, my classmates, they all are on some or other medication. That's really sad to know that they themselves are not healthy. How will they inspire their patients to become healthy? So this is our journey. We keep doing talks, we do webinars, we do um, cooking workshops, and we want to inspire the world about it now. The problem in the Western world and the Eastern world is exactly the same because we all are eating the same food. We are eating this. We are following the same lifestyle. There's no difference. We have forgotten our chapatis and we have started eating pastas. They are all processed food that we start eating, and we've forgotten, all our traditional food. We've forgotten bajri and jawar, and we have become like more white sugar now than jaggery. That this is the problem now. So we have to go back to our roots.
Yeah, I think there is another, again, some issues in the network. But yeah, Dr. Rupa, I think what you're saying is definitely making sense. And we need to go back to our roots. And I would really want to request you if you can run some live Bringle talks on our platform, which can spread globally. Because we keep bringing in a lot of people in various different communities, and try to develop these communities and spread the message. I would also be interested to invite you on the healthy vegan living ecosystem, which we are developing on this platform, wherein you can answer people's queries. We can put your message, your PDF file on that, so that people, whoever are joining that ecosystem, they get very structured, curated information rather than sitting in WhatsApps or mobile phones, which may or may not be used. So I think with this, I would really want to thank Dr. Rupa and Mayavi.
Yes, definitely. This is the need of the hour, and
Okay. Yeah, sure, Dr. Rupa. So I'll definitely come back to you. I'll speak to you offline on this, how we can spread the message. Uh, and with this, I would really want to thank you and Mayavi to come and spare some, your time on explaining, one from the doctor side of it, which is what you have explained, and another from the recipient side of it as a patient from Mayavi, which has given a quite a good, end-to-end perspective of how vegan diet can help a patient really, as to change his or her lifestyle, and from a doctor's view, how we can introduce more and more vegan diets. And it's not that we don't have availabilities, we have options. It's just that we may need to try it out, various options, before we kind of spread the things around. So thank you so much. And with this, I would like to invite Pratiksha. Pratiksha is an architect, and the way she has introduced veganism in her field, considering a lot of animal cruelty products which had been available in the market, and would like to know directly from her what she's been doing, how is her vegan journey been, and how it is helping her on that. So I recently met her in a cafe, and then I realized how strongly she follows that diet, even being into the ecosystem where there is not much vegan diet is there. So over to you, Pratiksha, and look forward for your thoughts around this.
Hello, Ansha, and thanks for having me over here. And I'm feeling proud that I am on the same platform as Mayavi and Dr. Rupa. They have been my seniors when I recently became vegan. I mean, when I became vegan in 2015, these are the people I used to look up to. And I've also been a student of Mayavi, and she's truly amazing. The way she teaches our cooking and makes everything so tasty and so interesting. She has been an aspiration to look forward to. And hats off to Dr. Rupa that being an allopathic doctor, she's spreading the word of natural medicine and, going back to the basics. So I'm very happy to be here. And my own journey of veganism was, I had somewhere read the word vegan around 8, 9 years ago, and that was just a small paragraph that I read in the Times of India newspaper, where I read that vegans have no processed food, they don't have milk, and they don't have, at times even grains and everything. And I was like, oh God, this is too extreme. But after that, in my journey of the next 4 years, like, this is 2011 that I'm talking of, um, I didn't come across any vegan, nor did I come across any other article. And so I used to practice veganism in a way. When I used to go to my dietitian, I used to tell, give me a vegan diet, but I used to cheat once in a while. So what happened is in 2015, a very close family member uh, wanted to open up a dairy business. And I had a debate with that person. I was like, dairy business is extremely cruel. And, you shouldn't go for it because in that the calves are separated from the cows. And uh, while debating, I realized that I was myself consuming milk. And I asked myself that night after that heated debate, ki, who am I to even stop somebody else, or who am I to even tell somebody else, don't go into this business when I'm the one who's demanding it at my doorstep. I'm having that milk, because I feel I should feed my baby well and everything. And I was like, gosh, I mean, the culprit is not that person, the culprit is me. And it's me who has to change to even be able to ask anybody else to change. So on March 14th, 2015, I went vegan overnight. I never saw any of the documentaries, but there was some intuition within me that knew that, this is wrong. And I went vegan, and I was not even aware of all these alternatives that are available about the dahi or the makhan or the shrikhand. I just told myself I will not have anything that consumes dairy, that has dairy in it. And thankfully, it has been a wonderful journey. Um, Actually, it has started raining. I would just like to tell everyone I am at this beautiful resort which has these chiku wadis over here, and I'm blessed to be over here at this place and speaking from here. So I'll just change my position because it has started raining. Um, what I'm saying is, okay, once I went vegan, I lost 22 kgs, and I'm also a high raw vegan. So 80% of my diet consists of natural fruits and leaves and salads, and one cooked whole food plant-based meal. And this lifestyle, I didn't have any major illness issues when I did this, but yes, I lost 22 kgs, and many people tell me that I came back to my weight, which is even lesser than what I was during the days of my marriage. And I had a couple of smaller issues like constipation and piles, to be very frank, and that just vanished. And I was like, wow, this is wonderful. So I definitely benefited a lot from it, and gradually I made friends. I have a farm, and earlier I used to look at that farm as a jungle. There was no manicured lawns over there. There were no landscape gardens, nothing. And I used to always tell my husband, "Arey yaar, we are living in a jungle. I mean, what is this?" And today I am promoting the concept of food forest to other people, to my clients who want to build their bungalows and everything. And that's exactly why I showed this chiku tree behind me, that it's so beautiful to be able to, I'll just show it again, to be able to have your food right in front of you, where you can just pluck and right in your own plot, instead of going to the market or going to the grocery store and buy stuff from there. So you reduce your carbon footprint also. And in this journey, when I met my friends, so when they came to know that I have a farm, they used to envy me that I have a farm. And Mayavi was one of the came to when she told me Pratiksha, you don't know what you have. I was like, okay. And I started looking at it from a different angle. And I realized that a landscape lawn or a manicured lawn is not as eco-friendly as a normal jungle is. The I am an architect by profession, and I learned the concept of minimalism. Where you don't look at stuff from the viewpoint of glamour or from the viewpoint of showing around your houses or to other people. Expensive furniture and these wall paintings and everything. And I realized I started hating my profession for a while. I didn't want to practice anymore. And then my friends told me, why don't you steer your direction of architecture? Stopping that profession. The way people who have been in food businesses have shifted their directions to healthier food businesses. The way the doctors like Dr. Rupasha from allopathy, they've shifted to natural medicine. So why don't you shift your architecture realized, yes, I should be doing that because as far as my knowledge goes, there are not many, or as far as I know, right now, I'm not aware of any vegan architect or interior designer in India. And if there are, I'll be more than happy to, be associated with them and, carry this message forward. So now in my designs, in my projects, I have stopped promoting leather. I've stopped promoting silk. I've stopped promoting any material that comes from animals. There are adhesives like Fevicol, that also consists of some animal ingredients, and I'm still looking for an alternative for that. So I have started telling other clients, instead of laminating a furniture, why don't you just polish your furniture? Why don't you just polish that wood instead of using Fevicol to laminate that furniture? So there are rugs that are made out of sheep wool, so I've stopped promoting all those things. Secondly, I have started promoting the concept of off-grid living, of building buildings that are off the grid. How are they off the grid? They are off the grid in a way they are self-sustainable. They get energy from the same area that their building is, from the same area that the building exists. So, for example, for what do you call, for electricity, try investing in solar panels and get electricity from your own source rather than depending on the grid outside. For water, you use rainwater harvesting concepts and build a reservoir in your own plot, and save the water that's recycled. Get the gray water also recycled and use it for landscape around you. And when you are using paints like which are high in volatile organic compounds, why don't you go for paints that emit lesser VOCs, or use use clay plaster, use lime plaster, and best of all, if you don't want to use anything, just have exposed bricks. So there is a lot to healthy vegan living apart from food. Also, food is definitely something that you experience directly. Your body is consuming it; it's giving you energy. So there is, I would say, 70-80% or even 90% of your energy comes from the food that you get. But at the same time, there is something that can be extended to, like, imagine a person living in a city and a person given a chance to work. Like today, I'm in this resort and I'm doing this meeting. So I'm not in a office. I'm not, in a cubicle space where, I cannot, I mean, the point is, I'm sorry, I'm blabbering, but traveling has become a lot easier, and you can do your work from anywhere. So because you can do your work from anywhere, why don't you, why don't connected to nature, and they start living in sync with nature? Why don't they grow their own food forest instead of building from cement and RCC, and concrete blocks? Why don't you excavate the mud from your own soil, and invest in compressed earth blocks, have adobe buildings, have mud plastered walls. These walls are even better for your health because they breathe better. There is a certain factor of porosity that is there in them, and they act as very good thermal insulators also. So if you build your house well and if you design it well, looking at the directions of, I think there's not enough light, looking at the directions of your site, and where is the southwest winds coming from, if where is the sun going to be a maximum hours of the day, where you want direct light from, where you want indirect light from. So if you plan your house well, you don't even need AC, because these these thermally insulated walls, if they are made from natural materials, uh, they will keep your house cooler in the summers, and they will keep your house warmer in the winters. So you don't need AC. So try uh, living an independent life, not only in terms of your career and in terms of the money that you're earning. Try living an independent life. Stop depending on the social grid to live your life. Definitely remain connected with people, have friends, have fun, party once in a while. But at the same time, make your lifestyle such that you are on a piece of land and you are consuming as much as you can from that piece of land rather than getting it from outer sources. So if you have a food forest, you can get your food from there. Your materials can come from your land. There are stones, there are some wood, there are some trees around, which you can definitely, you might need to cut them. But at the same time, when you're growing a food forest, you are replacing the things that you've cut, and you're not harming the environment. Conserve the energy, consume the energy that is around you, create systems that can, create energy for your house. Uh, I mean, that you don't have to depend on the outside grid. So the journey is a learning process. It is very much possible. There are many people who have started living off the grid. They have started living outside the cities, and they are happy, and they are much more relaxed and much more calmer, and they are much more healthier. So healthy and vegan living, if combined properly, even in terms of the spaces that you create around you, will give you a lot of will give you a lot of what do you call prosperity and happiness and state of mind in future also. And for those who cannot shift out of the cities, uh, still try using natural materials as much as possible in your interiors. Try using biodegradable materials in your interiors instead of going for synthetic materials like PVC and vinyl wall stickers, which look very decorative. Get an artist over to your house and get the walls painted by him or her, and request the artist to paint with as much as possible natural colors. So I would end off the my talk by saying, eat healthy, eat as much natural as possible, eat as much raw as possible, eat as much whole food plant based as possible, and live natural, and try building with the materials around you, with materials that are natural, which are breathable, and which are much more calmer and much more cooling for the environment also, and give back to nature and get reconnected to nature. That's exactly what healthy vegan living is all about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pratiksha, and for this really a different, unique concept of bringing healthy and vegan into an architectural field. And I think just to give you a perspective, I myself is a polymer science and chemical technologist from Delhi College of Engineering. So I have a lot of friends who are still working in the polymer and the chemicals industry. So whenever we talk about, making environment plastic free and things like that, they are the ones who kind of immediately comes back and says, I mean, while because I don't have any relation to the polymer industry at this point in time, but I think the usage of plastics and polymers has been very widely available.
Yes.
I think I don't know whether we can really avoid it, but at least what we can do is minimize the consumption, and more to do with it. I think the waste management is very, very important. How do we leverage that thing, making it more, environmental friendly and usable? Because
Yes.
currently there is a mandate from government also that each of the whatever the material or the polymer you are selling off in the market to all these big companies, 20% of that they have to, ensure that they're managing the waste out of it. So they have to recycle 20% of the total sales they make in a year's time. And that's the mandate to them. So lot of industries which are evolving into the waste management side of it, and moving into the real. So we are again, I think, same point is coming. We are going back to our olden days, so the way we used to have gurukuls, or maybe, the open houses, living in the forest. You're actually, we are all talking about the same. It all started, and of course we started taking up the Western culture, but now Western culture is now converting into us back to our,
And
Indian
in fact,
heritage.
they are more aware of all this now than us, and it's coming into India also. So I'm happy that veganism and healthier alternatives are available. Like, I'll give you an example. There are alternatives to everything in terms of materials also, and almost every corner of the world, because we are so well connected over the internet. If that material is not available in India, it is available outside. So people are coming up with various ideas. Like earlier, there used to be it started with mud pots for plantations. Now there are these colorful plastic pots that have come out for putting on your balconies, and they are in these wonderful fluorescent colors. But at the same time, because I do not want to promote plastic, I search for metal pots which are also colorful and they add to the environment. And yes, they are available. You know, we have gone to PVC pipes. So earlier the pipes were cast iron pipes. So we have to look for alternatives, make some effort, and I'm sure the answer lies around you, within you, and you can come up with a lot of decor and glamour and beauty in your space can be done with, I would say, 80 to 90% of natural material if you do the proper research. And yeah, I mean, the next 10% also probably me. I mean, actually there are people who are doing everything with their own materials, with their own recycled materials or whatever. There is a bungalow called in Bangalore, it's called Kachra Mane, and the bungalow has been built from all used materials, and it looks beautiful. And the bungalow cost them hardly 15 lakhs of rupees, and it is a proper 2-3 BHK room bungalow. And I was astonished. I'm like, this man, he has named his bungalow as Kachra Mane. He wanted people to be aware that I have not bought a single thing from the market to build my bungalow. It's not just a room, it's not just a floor. The wood that he has used to climb the stairs of his bungalow are taken from what is called the fine wood packaging industry, and some of it has been taken from the tracks, the railway tracks. The wood has been left over, which is not used or which are worn off. And it's beautiful the way it's done. I mean, I would if you can, I will give you a link and you can post it on Bringle. And whatever stuff he has used, he has spoken more of wood, but even the WCs and even the wash basins went to the Raddi wala, and he told them, I want to use your urinal, I want to use this WC. So all he did it was cleaned up the stains, get it repaired a bit, and he has installed it in his bathrooms, and the space looks beautiful. So we have to realize somewhere from our spiritual growth also, and it's better for our growth. Okay, do we really need to go to all these commercial shops to buy our things? Can't we just go to the local Raddiwala and find things? If certain things can be reused, they can be recycled. Can we recycle our own furniture that we have in our house? So the answer is, go as natural as possible, go as biodegradable as possible, and try to recycle or try to use as many upcycled products as possible. In your cafes, you can use, the worn out tires. Just give them a lovely natural color, pile up 2-3 tires, and that becomes the seat, instead of having a plastic chair for the cafes and everything. So there are many ideas. Uh, 20 minutes is a short time for me to speak on all these ideas. Make furniture from bamboo instead of teak wood. So a lot of things are there, and I'm sure I will pick up a topic every now and then. I'll conduct these talks also soon, so that I can be speaking more in detail about each material and bring about awareness to people who are probably seeking the same answers. So thanks for this platform. It was wonderful, actually.
No, I'm absolutely in sync with you, Pratiksha. I think the kind of wonderful things which you are doing, people needs to know about it. And I think the story of Mayavi and the way Dr. Rupa has kind of changed the facet of the medicine, it's very much required. I think somewhere we are missing a lot of these things. We are getting into allopathic medicines, and ultimately it is impacting. So right now, also, you know, I am going under certain medication and I can feel the negative side of it because it just hits you somewhere and you don't even know where it is hitting in your body. So it may create a psychological impact. It may create a, the feeling like which is not very good. But when you have a fresh or the, the plant-based foods, probably the raw foods, which is our typical old Indian culture, it gives you more fresher feeling rather than anything more synthetic or, more processed. So this needs to be spread across, and I would really want to invite, will be working with you to get these things spread across. That's the whole intentions we are looking at, nothing beyond that. Uh, and then we will see how do we, help people across the globe. So with this, thank you so much again for joining and sharing this wonderful insight, how we can bring the vegan and healthy, diets and things from the architectural or structural point of view. With this, I think I would now request Tripti to kind of unmute herself. And Tripti is one of my colleague very early on in my career. So my first job, and we were there together in that company. And she has been from the technology field, been into testing and other environments. And recently, I think, I don't know how long, maybe she can talk about it, but she has shifted to US now, and she's fond of cooking. And she has been talking to me about various allergies which people are having because of meat products and the milk products as well. So because she has a passion for cooking, she said that I would really want to know more about this vegan thing and how we can introduce her, cooking thing into and using the vegan into that. So I think over to you, Tripti. Looking forward for your experience and your thoughts around that particular, especially around US area, because that's where we can spread the things very fast. Thank you.
Especially Anshav to you, because you have given me this opportunity to speak around all the experienced people, and this is first time I'm speaking on live, so this is my first experience here. So good morning, good evening, everybody. It's the morning time for me. So I'm myself Tripti Singhal, and by profession I'm in IT industry, and I'm situated in North Carolina, Charlotte area, with my family, my husband and my two lovely daughters, 10 plus, and one is 10 plus, and another one is 5 years old. So I have come here in 2016 December, last month of the year, and since then I'm here. And so being a working woman, I especially take care of my family, and as far as food is concerned, I always believe that food is something that is which can play an important role in your lifestyle, no matter how fit you are. If you are not eating healthy going forward, like maybe because of some hereditary issues, like some parents are diabetic. For example, my father is diabetic and my mother has arthritis. So I'm more conscious about health things. And I always recommend people or everybody in my friend circle or my close ones to eat healthy, stay healthy, and just give health the priority. So towards that journey, what I suggest everyone to, I normally prefer home cooked food. I rarely eat outside because I believe food is something which can change your life. So you won't believe I'm being very busy because you can understand in IT profession, everybody doesn't have much time, and but at the same time, if you don't why people work, we work for they're giving a good lifestyle to our kids. So to make them a healthy generation further, I need to incorporate those healthy eating habits in my family. So towards that journey, and food is something like cooking is my passion. So by profession I'm in IT, but yeah, I always love to do cooking, and it is like a canvas for me. When I enter in my kitchen, it's like I can paint like whatever I feel like. It's something like some like ideas float in my mind, and I just wanted to give some healthy food to my family. So I normally strongly like I belong to a middle class family, and my father was very like keen for the plant-based food, and he is like me and my father and my each member of my family explore lots of vegetables and all. So we, from the childhood itself, I was like sprouts and all the green vegetables we were incorporating in our lifestyle. So that has come from my when something is there in being followed in your family, it by default comes into your tradition. So that's what I think it's in my mind, that whatever we eat, we should eat healthy. And now people are more concerned about their eating habits and all because of their weight issue and all. But weight is one aspect of the life, but there are other aspects. If you want to build your immune system, so food is something like which can cure that, which can make it strong. So like for example, if after coming to US, I saw many people are allergic. They are like eczema. It's like every second person, like child is like suffered from maybe nut allergy or eczema or something like that. So the cause, if you study the cause of all these things, it's something like the immune system. So if we just believe in a healthy lifestyle, then we can change everything. So I basically try to prefer to have all the healthy habits. Like if you are having your breakfast, for example, that is the first meal of the day. So you can incorporate many things like sprouts. So if you know, like people are not very keen to eat sprouts, but there are ways you can make food more interesting. So there are ways you can make sprout chila, or maybe you can make kebab from the sprouts. And there's like, you believe me, like there are like lot of options. Like my elder one is very fond of this soya chap. So soya is a kind of vegan, you all know, and it's high in protein. So what when I came to US, I thought now what to do, because here we don't get soya chap. So I tried. I went to Indian store, then I got raw soya beans. Then I just explored how can I make that. I can incorporate that thing like the soya chap thing. Maybe like Ansha was already supporting that in his crazy veggie. There was a venture he started earlier. So Ansha was I have seen his post earlier, and then I thought give it a try. Then I from the scratch I made chap, and I thought then I actually strong believer nothing is impossible in this world, because if you have that willpower, you can change everything. So be positive, stay healthy, and that is what I will suggest everyone. So people are following keto diet, and some many people are on diet conscious. They are doing intermittent fasting, and there are lots of things they are doing to keep them they are weight conscious. They want to lose weight faster. But something, if you make a habit, this is something once it's in your habit, you will not even think about the various ways of getting it incorporated into your lifestyle. I'm a very disciplined kind of person, so I always wanted to be whatever my schedule is there. I normally go for morning walk. I'm a good I run a lot, and it's the food which I'm eating. I think that is the thing which is giving me energy. I'm a vegetarian. Being a vegetarian, it's very challenging. People say you will not get protein, but there are very many sources. Tofu is there, soya is there, many sources. You can't believe Indian food or any cuisine that is there in the market, and it's very so innovative. I so like the kind of person I always like stop my hands, like I should not like put that much effort in the kitchen. But you cannot believe I can stand like from the 5 a.m. till 12 p.m. like 12 a.m. For the other day. I can stand there. I can like eat, and I can cook anything just to ensure that it's healthy. And that is my motto: health is wealth. So if you are healthy, that is the most precious things you are having. So if you are having kids, you are like your family is there, you have to be the most active person in your like family. Otherwise, your whole family will suffer. So keeping that in mind, I always recommend, I always like promote that healthy living, eating, healthy living lifestyle to people. And just in these, like there are lot many vegetables like asparagus, and they're like people don't try even like broccoli. Some people hate those kind of vegetables, but these vegetables, if you believe me, these are so like they are so vast varieties of dishes you can make out of those vegetables. They are so like mouth watering, as well as we can keep that nutrients, whatever they have, you can just explore that. And what I cook, I normally try what all the nutrients that particular veggie is having should remain intact. So I normally believe in that healthy cooking, and I always try that whatever food we are eating, we should be eating sensibly. It's not like food is like for your taste buds, but at the same time, it should be good enough to make your immune system strong, and it will help you to fight with different allergies. And that's what like I think I'm not that good speaker, but I'm trying. Like first time, Anshu gave me this opportunity, so I'm speaking first time here. So I know like this journey is very long, but I know like if you have that willpower, you have that motto in your life that you have to eat healthy, you have to stay healthy. Just go for it, and believe me, you can fight with any disease, whatever is there, and you can whatever hereditary problem like diabetic, arthritis, you can fight with them. I know like they will come to you, but at least you can defer them. So with this, I will end my discussion, and you can contact me anytime. I will suggest you like how you can make your food healthy, and how can you use vegan products into your lifestyle, and you can avoid dairy product like what Dr. Rupa has suggested. Like there are many things we can avoid, and that it's just your lifestyle change. So that's it from my end. So let me know if you have something for me and questions. So I would take that later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Tripti. And I think I would just want to take a little pause before I say something. So if anybody has any questions with anybody here, you can please unmute yourself and feel free to interact.
So the Tripti, it is like this, that to reach a man's heart is through his stomach. And about food, because people are very habituated to all these kind of foods, and the taste buds, and food is addicting, and good food is even more addicting. And it's one of the biggest hobby people have, is to go long distances just to eat something. So it's our job to veganize something and make it not just tasty, but even more tasty than the regular food. This is what the challenge Mayavi and others have taken up. So it's also for you to just make something even better than the regular food.
Yeah, that's what my motto is. Like whatever I cook, I normally don't like follow any YouTube video or something like that, because I want my originality, because I'm a kind of person who put all the innovation in what I'm doing, because if it is coming from your heart, it will be the genuine thing. If I follow some video, or if I follow something, then it's like I will be biased. So if something I'm doing, it's like straight from my heart. And the thing like that is what I want, that innovation to in all my dishes. Like I prepared tofu as a starter. So that tofu is so like you can't imagine. You cannot eat tofu like that because people don't have that taste of eating tofu. They eat paneer than tofu. But if you eat tofu the way I made it, it's like you will say, I love tofu. I cannot, like, I won't eat paneer. I will eat tofu because because they are ways actually. They are like you can grill that, you can marinate that with the like whatever spices you are making at home. At home you can marinate it very finely, and then the thing is like you won't believe. One of my friend came yesterday. She tried my tofu once, and I made it with brown rice, and then she came especially just to learn like how I make tofu, because she is the person like she was like very never tried tofu because she doesn't like that. So she wants that recipe what I made because she wanted to have it because it's high in protein, and but she doesn't know the way how can we make it interesting. So that is what I want. Everybody should know we have plenty of like vegan based diet which can be made more healthier, more tastier, and you will not believe like there's like people are like very fond of chicken and all, like, but if you introduce these things and you make them more tastier, then everybody will looking forward for that. So even my little one, 5 years old, she doesn't like paneer that much, but she was eating tofu because she loves that. So once she had it, she started loving it. And that's what, like, you need to make them understand, or you need to make them that food presentation, or because presentation also plays an important role. So I try to, if I'm eating at home as well, I normally present it so well so that everybody is very looking forward to eat that. And it's not matter of the posting in the social media. I just, whatever I do normally, people ask questions from me like, to see you, did you start any food business? I said no, because I'm just cooking my meals. Every day I'm preparing breakfast, lunch or dinner. Whatever I'm doing from my heart, and I just present it that way. I just took pictures that people normally see, like they normally ask me, did you started food business? So that's what like people are like that. But the thing is, I for my happiness, for my family health, I do all this. So this is what I think it should be spreaded. And I always say people like just whatever, like home food is the best food. And we have so many things, we have so many ingredients, spices that can be introduced, and at the same time they are healthy as well. So please start following that. So that's what I suggest to everyone.
Yeah, wonderful. It's called as taste bhi hai or health bhi hai.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, you know, the art of cooking, this generation is about to forget how to cook, because it's so easy to order on Swiggy, Zomato, or any such application, and those foods, you know, outsourced very quickly and are very addicting to the taste buds. And every few days, it calls out to you, order me, kind of thing. And, generation is becoming lazy to cook, and it's easy to order out. So we'll have to bring them back into the kitchen, start identifying all the ingredients, and make them touch, feel, smell, and actually cook something. It's not a complicated thing, right? You agree? It's just a little bit of attention, and you can create good recipe.
Yeah. So I
So
think
for
let's.
me, actually cooking is my passion, so I don't think like that. It's like something which make me stress free, and I always like just wanted to give healthy to my family. So that with that journey, I just cook to keep that in mind. However, I'm like, no matter how much I am tired is, but I always prefer like just cook something different, something healthy. Whatever I go to the grocery store, or maybe like we have different like we have like retail stores here, and there are like lots of vegetables. You can see like asparagus. I never tried in India because they are least available, but here I try to get all the veggies because which I never try. I just wanted to try all of them, and once I try them, like they are so healthy, at the same time they are so tasty. And once you start that incorporating in your daily routine, it's like a blessing for you. But that, as long as that, the only thing is you have to start. There should always be first time. So make that first time forever. So that is what we need to follow.
So Tripti, I'm already feeling the taste of soya chap in my taste buds or whatever you say. Unfortunately, the Crazy Veggie I was supporting, and we wanted to expand that, but we are now making it more spread across, because it was more localized through the restaurants. So, and it was managed by somebody else. So we are kind of just coming out of we have now focusing more on spreading the message around, and then see how the things works out. So I would definitely want to know more about soya chap recipe and how we can bring it out and spread it into the ecosystem with a peanut based curd, which Dr. Rupa, you have the recipe on, because soya chap is not good without a good dahi marination. So if you have that concept there,
Soya chap can be, it can be done other ways as well.
Yeah.
So, can I just say something?
Mayaviji, if you can give me 10 minutes, I think Samir has to go. So he's requesting if he can complete his, and I would really want to continue this after this. So Samir, if you can just, unmute and put yourself on video, then you can speak. And I'm really sorry to make you waiting for so long.
No, it's perfectly fine. Thank you, everybody. I mean, it was really wonderful hearing you all out, on vegan. I'm not a vegan, but it's kind of inspiring to go vegan now. So I'll start taking small steps and turn vegan. Actually, to tell you, I mean, I had created this product called Haldi Vita. Now, initially, this Haldi Vita got created basically to mix it in a glass of milk and have it every day in the morning. But there were a lot of vegan people who came back to me and said, okay, we don't drink milk, we don't have curd. What should we do? But we would love to have it. So I and my wife, we started experimenting with various food items. Like a couple of days back, she made rice with Haldi Vita. Now, Haldi Vita, first, let me tell you, I mean, it's made out of a particular kind of turmeric, which is extremely high on curcumin. Normally, I mean, the doctors and the group will know, normally in any turmeric which is grown in 4 months' time, it has a curcumin level of about 2 to 3%. But this particular haldi, which is known as Suvarna haldi, and it's cultivated in Uttarakhand, it takes 18 months to grow. It's grown very slowly. There is a particular technology which the government and a couple of NGOs have started utilizing there. And it takes 18 months to grow, and the curcumin level is nearly 8.3%. Now, this turns out to be very expensive also. But I mean, we started experimenting with this particular haldi, how we can make it more and more effective. One thing what we noticed was, and we were told by these Ayurvedic doctors, this haldi is basically used in Ayurvedic medicine. We were told by the Ayurvedic doctors that haldi is not biosoluble. Because the curcumin element, it gets flushed out in the morning. So to make it biosoluble, it's very essential that there should be certain herbs, there should be certain spices, like ginger is one of them, then black pepper is there, then cinnamon is there, which has to be added to turmeric in a certain proportion. So we did that. So that is what created Haldi Vita with a lot of medical benefits. It helps in arthritis, it helps in joint pains, that's arthritis. It helps in, body swelling. It helps in diabetes, blood pressure. It's an antioxidant. It kills the cancer cells. That is what the reports and research claims. Now, I'll just show you what Haldi Vita, what we have created. This is the bottle of Haldi Vita, what we have come out in the market. Now, because the vegan people came to us and said, okay, we don't want to have milk, we don't want to have curd, we would like to have Haldi Vita. How do we have it? We tried it in a glass of water, warm water. It didn't taste very good, but for health benefits, some people had it. Then we started experimenting it. I and my wife, a couple of days back, we made some pulao and we put Haldi Vita in that. Now, that turned out to be delicious. Again, yesterday, we made out of it. we had it in upma. Similarly, we added in poha, we added a couple of other vegetables. Finally, what is Haldi Vita? Haldi Vita is basically herbs, it's spices, it's got pista, it's got, cinnamon, it's got elaichi, cardamom. So these are the kind of items. So it can be used with any particular item. So now what we are propagating is, it's a kind of a vegan, if a person is a vegan, he can go ahead and have it. Vegan doesn't mean he gets devoid of certain nutritions. That is a very big misconception, and which got affirmed today while listening to all of you. So now we are also coming out with a protein product which is made out of vegetables. The protein is going to be 90% protein, and it will be made out of vegetables. There is a scientist with whom I'm working very closely. So we are going to mix the benefits of Haldi Vita with protein and offer it to vegans. So I just wanted to introduce my product to all of you, and possibly in my next session, I can talk more about it. I can talk about some of the recipes what we have concocted. We are creating a recipe book which I'll share with all of you, and so on and so forth. And thank you, Ansha, for giving me this opportunity to introduce this particular product and how it can be introduced in the vegan community. I'm not, kind of advertising the product. I'm talking about this product because it has got a lot of health benefits. You take, for example, myself. I was high on sugar. My HbA1c was nearly about 8.9 to 9. I started having this product without altering my medicines. Of course, I'm having allopathic medicines as well. But it didn't affect me. I was having them for the past 5 months, 7 months, but it didn't change my HbA1c. Then I started controlling my sweets. It came down to 8.2. But since that time I've started having this Haldi Vita, I was pleasantly surprised that it has come down to 6.7, which is well within the limits. So these are the kind of benefits. I'm talking more about the benefits. This is just a product. The benefits are in the ingredients of the product. So we got to propagate the ingredients, and we got to make compositions out of it, which can go very well with vegan food, and which can otherwise also people can consume and be healthier. It's a holistic lifestyle. We are also promoting Ayurveda. We are promoting yoga. We are promoting spiritual lifestyle. And along with that, we are coming out which can help them in regeneration and regenerating and affirming their faith in vegan or holistic lifestyle. Thank you, and thank you everybody for this session.
Thanks, sir. I think the way you are explaining about Haldi Vita benefits, it definitely needs to spread out and maybe get tested out into the day-to-day, cooking regime of everybody's, home. And I think you should also spend some time, if you can, and if you have time, how you are developing this entire cross-border startup ecosystem and supporting startups, or maybe this vegan restaurants which we have, the doctors which we have, how we can take their expertise to the global level through that ecosystem. And eventually what you are doing at Badrinath.
Absolutely, Ansha. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. That's perfect.
Yeah. So, there are a lot of things which can be spoken about. I would like to take them one by one, and maybe in the next session, I'll talk to, the people how we are cultivating, this haldi in Chamoli district, how we are aggregating the farmers, and how this product became very, very popular in Badrinath overnight. What did we do to do that? So there are a lot of things which we can do. And as Anshav said, I'm into cross-border entrepreneurship. I'm taking this concept forward. I'm talking to the Scottish Business Council and one of the African councils, so that we can start introducing these Ayurvedic products and also the holistic lifestyle. And being vegan is a very, very integral part of being holistic lifestyle. Though, like I qualified my statement by saying I'm not vegan, I have milk products, but I'm a pure vegetarian. I don't even have eggs and cakes and pastries or cookies or in any format. But yes, I have milk and milk products, which now I'm gradually getting inspired because I've been listening to vegan, people who have been vegan and how it has affected their lifestyle, not only physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. It helps in meditation because it's a very well-known fact that whatever you consume that becomes your vibration, and that affects your meditation. So if we are having milk products, then naturally the tendencies of those animals we imbibe in ourselves. And that is one of the reasons why right from beginning, when I started doing meditation, my Guruji, that's the first thing he told me. He said, if you're going to have non-veg, though I've never had non-veg, he said, if any person he has non-veg, I mean, the animal instincts, they get absorbed in the body, the vibrations get absorbed in the body. So I would like to elaborate more on that. There's a lot which can be spoken about, and we can take it forward in our subsequent meetings.
Yes, sure, sir. I think Samir, that will be really great, and I think we will arrange some couple of more meetups like this. And of course, we'll need support from all of you to kind of organize this more and more. I have kind of started this, initiative to spread the message across, but would really want a contribution from each of you to come forward and come with your live talks, or maybe interactions, maybe talking to your patients or students, or maybe doing some live cooking options. And Samir, I would also want to know if we can kind of showcase the farms which you have, how you are processing Haldi Vita, what are the benefits, bringing some nutritionists over there and stuff like that. So if we can do all of that, it will be really great. And of course, a continuous journey.
Sure. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks,
And
Ansha.
thank
I'll
you, sir.
sign off with this.
Thank you so much. And I think with what Samir has just mentioned about impact on psychology, and Mayavi has kind of experienced that. So I think I'm back with you, Mayavi. You were saying something. I'm sorry I had to stop you at that time.
No issues at all. I was just saying about this.
You were talking
Soy-
about tofu and how to make it so interesting, marinate
so
it with
yeah,
curd and
yeah, I was telling you about the soy chap. So in my master class, I normally send out a form to people because it's a very intensive class where people can actually tell me what they want to learn. And as many things as possible, we try and do them in the class with the students participating and putting their heads together to create a recipe. And we did that with the soy chap, and I have an amazing soy chap marinade. Like you said, it has to be so tasty. So maybe one of these days we can do a soy chap recipe demo on Bringle, um, made from scratch with wheat and soya beans. But I want to try and see if we can even make it gluten free, so that people who don't want to eat wheat can eat that. And the curd, and we don't use oil, so we've used some cashew butter in it, and yet it tastes delicious.
So I
So
would
maybe
really want to try that out. My wife actually has tried soya chap at home with a normal curd, and we also tried with a vegan curd by
right.
using all that cashews and all that. It tasted good, but then somewhere we felt that the curd component of vegan curd was not giving us that kind of thing benefit. So I think if you are already working out and right from making soya chap at home, because
Yes.
we were actually bringing getting it from Delhi to
Yeah.
to prepare. Now if we can prepare it at home, then that itself could be a good product which can be leveraged out into the market as a more commercial product, and making it
Sure.
more vegan. And I think one more component which I wanted to add over there is if we can make it as a without onions and garlic as well, because
plain.
it can go into a Jain community as well. I think it can immediately get propagated with this. And I mean, of course, we can discuss on that offline. It is not about a commercial activity at this time, but I certainly feel that we should, have little offline conversations on that as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and definitely let's talk about it, how we can bring more and more recipe of yours online and spread it to the mass ecosystem. And I think Tripti has also done something on soya chap and other recipes. So maybe she can
Actually,
help.
just to yes, for this discussion which we are like having on curd, using curd or not. So I normally prepare a marination which doesn't include curd. So that marination is as good as curd marination. So I normally prepare that with tomatoes, what you say, mint, tomatoes, peanuts, and apart from curd, I use other things. So that kind of marination is very good. If you, I tried that marination for tofu and it tastes really well. Like when you bake it, once do that marination on the tofu thing, then it comes out like very delicious. So there are ways, certainly there are ways to avoid curd and for the marination part. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe
please
one is
speak on
curd,
that.
and apart from that, oil, butter, and all those things are also very important component which we need to kind of eliminate. Because
But actually, we have some kind of oils like extra virgin olive oil we can use that is vegan only, right?
right,
And there are oils like canola oil, like there are oils like we can use peanut oil, like there are various oils available in the market. So that can be used as in vegan products, in vegan diet, like whatever recipes we are making. So anyways, like we have ways what I think. Or maybe I'm not that like I don't have done like I haven't done any more research on vegan products and all. But whatever I know, I from my experience, because here people are more experienced than me, so I should not comment on that. So, but this is something like I'm just talking first time because I'm not vegan, but like indirectly I use many dishes which are close to vegan recipes.
yeah, I think
So,
it's all about bringing up a community together and spreading the message. Slowly,
right.
what the work has been started by people like Dr. Rupa, Mayavi, and I think Nandita is also there. She has not spoken anything till now, but I think she has also been into a lot of vegan products. And of course, there are many more. So Dr. Rupa and Mayavi very well know how big is the group, and they themselves are developing and managing that. So, so Dr. Rupa, I think some parting words from you, if you want to, kind of share it with everybody, and then we will close the session.
Sure. So the most important part of this entire thing is that we do not want to judge anyone. We do not want to be into black and white kind of a phenomena where you say I am vegan, you are not vegan, or those kind of things. Everyone is here in it together. We are all on a journey. Each day we discover something more about health or about veganism or about being kind to animals. So whoever does whatever. So for example, if someone decides to not to eat meat on Mondays, that also is good enough. Or someone decides to say just give up cheese, for a month, that is good enough. Anyone who does anything, towards take a step towards becoming vegan is good enough. We are not here to judge anyone, and there is nothing like absolute right or wrong. Everyone is here together, and the first most important rule of the game is to be kind to everyone, kind to our kind as well, kind to the animals, kind to the human beings as well. So do not judge, do not be over righteous. There is no A method or B method. There's nothing like say only raw food is good or only living food is good or cooked food is dead or non-vegan food is bad or something. Right now there's no judgment. It's just inspiring to become healthier, discover, learn, ask. We are all there, holding hand. There's nothing like senior and junior and things like that. We are all in it together. There are lots of books. There's a book like this is the book that changed the world. It's called as China Study. I suppose you can see it reverse, because of the way camera is. So China Study or such books, have already been written 15 years ago. Probably he wrote it with a lot of inspiration and didn't know that this one book will change the world. Now it's sold millions of copies across the globe. So anything that we all do together, individually, just keep doing. And the time has come, more and more will happen. I didn't know when I wrote the book that it's going to go to thousands of households across, and that the curd recipe that I was struggling in my own kitchen has now become a recipe with the vegan community. So just keep doing it, and there's so much more to learn and so much more to do. So I mean, Tripti or Samir or, I mean, you all are just welcome. You heard us, and maybe just try it out, for a week, for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and see, what happens to your own self, and your own personal journey will, be able to, tell what, it is all about. So there's no experience is the biggest thing. And the second thing, just I wanted to say that I also do last few years home gardening. I recycle all my kitchen waste. My kitchen is a zero garbage. There's no plastic coming, and there's even the paper and newspaper pieces, everything I try to recycle. And so I have a little terrace, and I do grow some of my veggies and some microgreens at home, and they are very delicious. Just you cut and eat, and they are organic, and you've grown them with love. So I also, it's like a journey that you really now know where your food comes from. What is food? Various colors of food, or sometimes the plant has a disease and you are really, you were looking forward to harvest, and one next day there's nothing there, and you understand and learn a lot from nature and all these processes. So like if I just harvested a few tomatoes, I know how long does it take for those few tomatoes to come on my table. So my respect for food has really grown a lot more. I really don't throw anything away, and honor food. And food is the first medicine. The future of medicine is going to be food. Whatever we eat, we become a in Hindi we say Anna is
Yeah,
Param Brahma. Anna hi Brahma. And we say that Jaisa Anna, Vaisa Man.
so
And
true.
ha, so this is the way it is. Really, it is no joke. You have to know what you eat, what you will eat, you will become.
No, I'm absolutely, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think being in Jain community, we have been taught like that. I've been seeing all of that. We've been talking about having raw foods and, vegan, vegetarian one. Uh, Somehow these milk products have not been still gone deeper into the Jain community. But yes, I think there is a way now, and there's a lot of work which has already happened. So it's just our duty now to spread that.
Absolutely. The youngsters are watching, they are listening. At the Vegan India conference, I met a family from Trichy. The, the youngest one was 13 year and his sister was 17 year. And
Hmm.
from the sister went vegan, and then the entire family went vegan. And they had not met any other vegans in their town. They were from small town Trichy in Tamil Nadu, and they all four of them flew all the way to Delhi to attend the conference and meet so many other vegans. So it's amazing to know that because of internet and YouTube videos and creating a lot of awareness, people are learning about it, and the younger generation is going to become vegan faster because they just understand this whole thing so easily, that we have to be compassionate to animals. Animals are not our food. Animals are our friends. We should not be exploiting an animal for our own pleasure or as a product. So I see a very bright future. I visualize a vegan world, and particularly since I'm in India, it's vegan India. That's my vision.
No, thank you so much. Pratiksha, you want to say something before we, I would say close this session for a new beginning.
Yeah, I would like to tell two things. One is of my own experience in terms of psychology, how it has affected me in my mind. Before going vegan, I used to get a lot of dreams of snakes, and snakes
Oh,
in a way, like, as if they are attacking me or there are piles of snake on my head. And, it used to create a lot of stress in my mind. And I used to wonder, why is this happening? And 2 years after going vegan, 2.5 years after going vegan, I realized since the time I've gone vegan or since the time I've gone high raw vegan, those dreams have stopped. You know, now when I even look at a snake on the farm or something, my fear of them has stopped. And secondly, those dreams of them attacking me, and the shivers that used to go to through my spine while I used to sleep, all those feelings have gone. So somewhere some kind of stress level has even reduced in my own mind, and it has affected my mental health also. So this is one experience I wanted to share. Another request, actually Dr. Rupa has summarized everything so beautifully. But another request to anyone who's listening to this video and who will be listening to this recording in future also. Okay, when we call ourselves pure vegetarians, and I appreciate the fact that you're already on the journey of getting inspired by veganism or by the vegan style of life. Instead of calling oneself, at least we should watch some videos which are titled as horrors in dairy industry, or the truth of dairy industry in India or anywhere else in the world. So even if you're transitioning and you're going towards a vegan lifestyle, think again when you after do have a look at these videos and think before you call yourself a pure vegetarian. It's a humble request from my side, because I used to proudly call myself pure vegetarian once, and now after knowing the reality, my mindset has changed. So I hope you also become more aware and you also, take step towards a more compassionate future for yourselves, for the planet, and for the animals. So, and a wonderful work from Ansha, who yourself, you're not a, you're so much into vegan lifestyle, you know so much about it, but you are doing so much to bring awareness of it, on the platform. You are doing a very good job, and I really hope and I wish you a lot of success. I wish Bringle Academy a lot of success in being able to
Thank you
get
so
more compassionate content and make this awareness reach millions and millions of people. So thanks a lot, Ansha, for doing everything that you're doing. Yeah.
Thanks,
And thanks to
Pratiksha.
everyone that we came together. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Thanks, Pratiksha, for your kind words here. And for me, when I started Bringle Academy almost around 2 years ago, I mean, while we are a 4 years old organization, uh, the intent was very different, and we also never knew that how the kind of platform will evolve. It is just that when we have built it up this platform now, I am trying to leverage this platform to spread the message and awareness, and bringing people connecting with each other at a cross border level, because till now there is no platform as such which can connect people, help people developing communities, interact with lot of educational stuff, and then making it kind of more spread like a like a wave. And that is where the whole purpose of building up this platform. While this platform has been taken almost around 2 years to reach to this stage, but there are very small things which has been taken care of. So I really want to I'm just leveraging it out. I have no professional interest at this point in time in vegan per se, but it is definitely a personal interest. Because I, coming from a Jain community and being a strong vegetarian, as you rightly said, pure vegetarian promoter, uh, never been aware about a concept of vegan, frankly, till that time last year when I started supporting one of my friend, and ultimately become a kind of a big promoter of driving vegetarianism, pure vegetarianism with soya chap as our core product, because that was one product which we could feel can convert non-vegetarians into vegetarianism. And with the same concept, Dr. Rupa, that even if I can convert one non-vegetarian for one day in a week, I will say at least I've achieved, that 1/7th percentage of whatever that percentage will come, 10% of the market, or conversion. And that itself is good for me, being from a Jain community. Uh, but then when I started working onto it, somehow got hold of, got connected to certain people like Atul Doshi, who has started that Ahimsa group. And since then, I've been part of vegan community and been knowing such a brilliant, great people like you and, Pratiksha I have come across. I was actually watching it over a period of time. But then never could understand how do I promote it, because the restaurants which I was kind of supporting were also vegetarianism, not the vegan part of it. We did launch vegan products, but we did not get too much of a traction on that, or too much of people coming for that upfront. So And then we had to kind of shut them off because of management issues and stuff like that. But of course, that is not the point here. The the passion kept me going on, and I said, let me now take it up into a larger community and bring in more and more people together, and then create a more synergistic ecosystem rather than working in silos and trying to do something.
Yeah. Sunny, it's wonderful, and I really wish everyone a lot of success. You know, Mayavi a lot of success because she stopped doing those individual classes and now she wants to grow it beyond her boundaries, which is so good. Dr. Rupa Shah is writing such wonderful books, and the way she conducts Ahimsa Festival at such a large scale and with the entire team together into it, the energy that we feel over there is superb, and I'm really overwhelmed. We're inspired by. Uh, you know, even Mr. Samir Gupta, who's trying to bring so many, healthy and natural products so that we can enjoy. And I'm sure he's already on that path too. And Tripti also, who's a wonderful cook and who's doing this talk for the first time. So Tripti, I mean, and even Nandita, who's present, she's also a person who works so hard, but she does all this behind the scenes, so no one really knows. But she's one of the most hardworking people that we have for the IMSA festival, and probably things that I'm not aware of. So yeah, and I'm very blessed to be here on this platform today while I'm out, vacationing with my family. So I've taken time off that. So thanks for giving this platform, and I'm looking forward to many more such meetups and many more such workshops which I can do online with everybody individually in whichever format you propose. I'm there to be part of Bringle and to bring awareness about healthy architecture also, healthy and vegan interiors and architecture also, including food and including raw. A lot of topics to cover. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to everybody.
Sure, sure. I think I will reach out to my team will also reach out to each of you separately, and how we can bring these more awareness related topics. May not be a meetups, but even a live talks could be there, wherein you can just share what you have, in your mind, and then we can do some live cooking. Probably Tripti and Mayavi and Dr. Rupa can work together and create a good environment around it. So while along with the teaching, the real cooking can happen, and Dr. Rupa can bring in the health benefits, and we can see how it will evolve. And Dr. Rupa, I would really want to know if we can conduct a Ahimsa festival online like this. We can plan a little multi-locational event as well. So I'll discuss with you separately on that, so that the awareness can grow much.
Yes, yes. It is my dream really. So I will take it up definitely.
Sure. Okay, so I think with this, I would only say Ahimsa Parmo Dharam, and let live and let live. That's what the agenda which we will have. And let's continue this start of the journey of healthy vegan living from here.
Thanks, Anshu. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye
Namaste.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye everyone.
Bye,
Lovely meeting
Anja.
you all.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye Mayavi. Bye
Bye.
everybody. Bye Nandita.